I wanted to jump on live today to tackle a question that was posed to me by one of my subscribers and friends, because y'all becoming my friends. That's what I hoped to have here, was a community. And this was a really great question. But I wanted to first say this one piece, and this is going to take about 2 minutes. So anybody who is watching this on the replay and you don't want to hear about why I'm recording this live in my car, then go ahead and skip forward. But since this is live, I talk to my community this way. And I just wanted to first say something, that I might be doing more recordings in my car coming up, and here's why. Not only just lives, because I realized something recently. And first of all, yesterday I threw my back out, and it wasn't too bad. It's been worse, but I've only done that twice in my entire life. And yesterday that happened, and I had noticed that I had been kind of quite irritable being in the house, because I'm someone who, I love to be out and about, love to be with people, love to be experiencing things, looking at things, smelling things, this type of thing. But I was working my house every single day, and I felt my inspiration going away. And I love what I do. I love creating things. I love making thumbnails. I like writing up really awesome descriptions. I like coming up with topics and, these type of things. And yet I was just like really yucky about it. And then I started to think yesterday when I threw out my back, I said, this is God's way of stopping me. Because anytime I have some type of injury or something like that, one time it even came in the form of this, where I was walking into a bathroom in my house, and we don't have the turning handles. We have the little knobs that you press down on to get into a bathroom, and it literally caught my belt loop and stopped me. And I was like, okay, I need to slow down. I need to switch things up. So after this happened yesterday with my back, I was not super happy about it. And also the other angst I was feeling about just feeling trapped in my house all the time, I was like, I got to get out and drive. And I told my husband, I said, I'm driving. I just got to get out of this house. And so I got out of the house and I went driving through one of my favorite neighborhoods, and I was taking pictures, because I'm a manifesting mofo, and there's this certain type of house that I want to have. Like, there's an architecture. I'm really into architectures and things like that. So I took a bunch of pictures. I got out and I was like stalker Kristen, taking pictures of houses. But man, I came home and I was like, oh, I just needed to get out. I needed to breathe, and I needed to see something, because working from home is great. You make your own schedule and all these things. But so this leads me to the point that, hopefully this hasn't been over 2 minutes. Let me see. Oh yeah, it has a little bit. Leads me to the point that I want to start creating, probably going to start creating more videos from my car again, because just sitting in the house all the time just doesn't work for me. Oh my gosh, and I forgot something. Oh, you guys, I meant to put on this. All right, so let's do this now. I actually been pulled over in a middle school parking lot in one of my old neighborhoods, and hopefully you guys can hear me. I tend to like to do things a little bit more professional, but I give myself 100% grace if I don't. Does that sound better? I know there's someone in this room now. Is this sound better than it was 5 minutes ago, you guys? Can someone chat me? Because sometimes I plug things in and the sound was better without it. I know there's a delay, so I'm going to wait and to see what you have to say. Also got my coffee. I need to make a brand deal with Starbucks. That's something that's coming in my future. Mark my words. Okay, so I wanted to get into the topic today that, okay, and Lindsay, it sounds good to me. Oh, hi, Lindsay. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so this is going to be a bit of a cluster. I think better without. Oh, so you think better with, isn't that weird? Golly gee, you know what? Do I even have my earbuds in here? Okay, this is without. What do you guys think? Without, I'm driving in my car, drinking my coffee, talking to you. Or driving in my car, drinking my coffee, talking to you. Let me know. Which one is better? Once we get this technical stuff out of the way, then I'm going to hit you with all my goodies about you are not destined to be single forever. Better listen to me. Also, I usually have a plug-in microphone that I do in my car that actually connects to me. I did that yesterday because I'm part of the Amazon influencer program, and I was filming a product that I bought, and I had that hooked to me, and when I listened to the video afterwards, it was crackly the whole time. So I was like, what the heck? Okay. Without glasses, this is good too. All right, let's just leave it at this. Okay? All right. So, but it was, my other little microphone thing was crackly, and you guys probably watched that video the other day where I personally think either works, but, oh, I hate it when it does this. Sorry, you guys, I forgot about the message thing in the car. It goes away real quick. Live chat. Either works, but plug in sounds better. Okay, thank you. Sorry, you guys. A bit of a cluster this morning because I literally I'm on a drive. That's all I'm doing. I'm like, I'm going to go on a drive. I rolled out of bed. This is a roll out of bed situation. And got my coffee, and I'm just going out to, experience some life and nature, and decided to get on. So I'm not super prepared. I'm glad I had paper because I was thinking about this question that was posed to me. And while I was in the Starbucks line, I started writing down the answers to this question. But I am also going to continue to drive. So I will not be looking at the camera a lot, but occasionally, probably, every so often, I'm going to pull over and read comments if you guys have them and questions, because that's the whole point of our lives, is that we do that. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to get started here. This is when this question was posed to me, I felt it in my toes because this was something that I had experienced myself. In fact, just now my eyes teared up. So that usually means that this is touching someone's heart. And I felt that. Like, I have certain body tells, intuitive body tells, when I'm getting certain messages from people. And let me tell you something. I felt this because, I've been in that place, and it's a very, very, it's a painful, hopeless, sad, like, what the frick kind of, I'm monetized now. I'm trying to monitor my Fs. What the freak kind of place. Like, it's heart-wrenching. It feels like it's never going to get any better. It's like we're passing on one thing after the next, and it's just like, for the love of Pete, what is happening here? Now, this person that sent this to me, I will tell you straight up from the start, there's no reason why this person is ever not going to attract the love of their life. But I would also say this goes true for everybody on this planet, period. This is non-negotiable. And you can take this from me and cut your learning curve, or you can go keep continuing to research and waste more time trying to convince yourself that this is true. Here's why. Are you ready? There are 7.9 billion-ish people on this planet. Think about it. 7.9 billion-ish. Isn't that the number these days? Something like that. Don't quote me. I don't even watch the news. So to think that out of the 7.9 billion people, that you are the only one that is not destined to have a relationship is downright ridiculous. I said this to myself as well, because I remember thinking, well, maybe this is just not in the cards. Maybe I'm just never supposed to have a healthy relationship. Maybe I'm just blah, 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 blah. And this was during a time when I still do this with myself, but I questioned myself. I said, is that true? You're not destined for a relationship? It's never going to happen for you? No, it couldn't possibly be true. In fact, it was quite ridiculous. And it was ridiculous because we, as God's children, as spirit in earth suits roaming this earth, The whole point of being here is to manifest and create the life of our dreams. So to think, yeah, but there's this one piece that you are not allowed to have, this one little section that you are not allowed to have, is ridiculous. We're allowed to have everything. I have a quote on my bulletin board from Jesus that says, "It is our Father's good pleasure to give us his kingdom." What does that mean? It is God's good pleasure. God is in joy. God is not human, but the energetic frequency is wanting us to thrive and be alive and have everything that we want. And have and be everything that we want. So to think that, yeah, but in this area, not you. Sorry. Yeah, I know. You were in the wrong line when you came here. Yeah. You were supposed to be in line B12 and you were in C. So no. Doesn't work that way. Absolutely doesn't work that way. You are 1000% destined to have a loving and healthy relationship. Now, just like everything else that we desire to have in this life, just like everything else, there's going to be some work that we need to do around it. They just doesn't happen one and done. Okay? That is the spiritual path. Because if we didn't have things that we were striving towards, then we wouldn't be looking for things within ourselves to align, to heal, to get those things. So this is where free will comes in, because we can say, well, I just give up. I just give up. It's never going to happen. Never going to talk to another person. Or we become bitter or angry or whatever it might be. Or we say, no, I'm going to keep going. No matter what. I'm going to keep going. You know what, you guys don't have to find a place to park. I don't like this driving and talking situation. Okay, so we decide to keep going. But in that journey of keeping going, what happens is that we uncover and reveal resistance and blocks within ourselves that is keeping us from vibrationally, because that's the deal, okay? We align vibrationally to the receiving of the thing. If I could, I would rename the law of attraction to the law of divine alignment. Because everything that we want is out there. We just have to align vibrationally to it. People call it attraction. That's fine. It's fun. And I'm just kind of playing. You guys know me. But that is really what it is. But that also signifies attraction to me. If we just change this wording a little bit, signifies I have to become a magnet and attract things to me. And oh my God, I don't know how to do this. And this is hard and scary. But what is it like to align my energy into believing that this is possible? I don't know about you, but to me, that feels better. That feels better to me. So when I know that something is not coming to me, then I know that I am not aligned. Period. That's all. Now back to the point about everybody has something that they want to manifest. This is truth. We all have something that we want to manifest. We all have something that we want to experience in this life. And sometimes that could be in the romantic relationship department, and sometimes that could be in the health department, and sometimes that could be in the career department. Those are the three major departments that we have. So just because you might be in the department of manifesting, your more struggling area might be in manifesting your dream partner, ideal partner, lifer, soulmate, whatever words that you like to describe it, that doesn't mean somebody else hasn't been striving for 10 years to get the career that they enjoy. Why isn't it going to happen, right? But then eventually they do. And that's the beautiful part, is about staying on path no matter what. because the bounty at the end of the path is always worth it. I don't know any person that has not stayed on path and has been, yeah, wish I didn't do that. Kind of dumb of me to stay on path. No. Instead, they're like, it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait, and I needed every daggone minute to unheal, or I'm sorry, to unblock and to heal certain things to receive this thing. The relationship I have today with my husband did not come easily. It didn't just fall in my lap. It wasn't like, oh, here you go, Kristen, you're done. Here's a perfect man thing, nor is perfect woman. Okay? We want to find somebody that we can grow with and we can move together with. That's really what it boils down to. We want a person that is on the healing path. That's really what it boils down to. Or someone who has done a large majority of work. Right? Be careful what you might ask for if you want a person that's enlightened, because enlightenment doesn't really require much and it's not attached to much. Probably get a person that just sits and stares into space. I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying is I wanted a person that was dedicated, like all the things, was loyal, dedicated, respectful, honest, kind, giving, loving, generous, funny, great sexual chemistry, all the things. That's what I wanted. Those are the things that you focus on. Okay, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, and I'm still looking for a place to pull over that's kind of shady. You know what? I think I'm just going to flip a B right here because there's a beautiful shady area. So here we go, everybody. All right, looking in the rear view mirrors. We're clear. Here we go. Ooh, this is why you need shade, because you guys can see me so much better. Arizona, the sunny state. Okay. So let's move forward here. The key is faith over fear. Faith over fear. This is part of the vibrational alignment, is being able to stay in faith over fear by knowing the things that I had just spoken to you about, that anything is possible. Anything is possible. There is nothing that we cannot have. We have to be willing to believe that it's possible. If we're going to sabotage ourselves and say, no, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And by the way, pity parties are normal along the journey. Don't stay in them, though. It's normal to get into that place. And I'm not suggesting that the person that asked this question, I'm a pity partier occasionally. So I'm saying they're normal. It's normal to go, when is this going to happen? Why? I feel like I'm striving. I made so many strides towards this end goal. Why isn't it happening? Yeah, I have a pity party, but you know what I look at them as? I look at them as releases of energy. Okay? Because if I'm getting frustrated about something, then I'm going to need to release some energy. And so I let the energy go. Kick and scream for a minute if that's what it looks like. Cry. Do whatever I need to do to get back to that reset foundation. So those are normal. Faith over fear. It is believing 100% that you can have anything that you want. Here's the other thing, what I was going to say about there being 7.9 billion people on this planet. And when we think, yeah, I'm just not destined for that, what you're telling yourself is that you're special. Well, me, out of all these people on this planet, I am special. I am the one person on this planet that is not destined for real love. That means you're special. Because we're all destined for real love. This, the vibrational energy of this planet, is real love. Okay? So to say you're that one is to say you are special. And as the Course in Miracles says, all children of God are special, and no children of God are special. And what that means is we're not special and we are special. It means that we are, to try to single yourself out is not true. It cannot absolutely be true. You cannot single yourself out. None of us can. Because the entire collective of us is special. But no one of us singularly is special. So to think that you're not allowed to have something is to put yourself in a different boat and category as everybody else. Now I'm sharing with you today the things that I worked on myself when I went through this space where I thought I was not destined for real love. I thought for sure, no, like this just can't happen for me. One bad experience after the other. This does not feel good. There's a guy riding his bike, and he looks like, that's cool. His little outfit thing looks like a skeleton. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is that you create your destiny. You create your destiny. That's what's fascinating, is that we get to decide what it is that we want in this life. And the words that we speak over our life and ourselves are the things that are going to manifest. So if we say, this is never going to happen for me, it's never going to happen for you. Because if you say, this will never happen for me, universe goes, your wish is my command. If you say, this for sure is going to happen to me, universe says, your wish is my command. You see what I'm saying? It's okay to have doubts. That's part of the human experience, but it's not okay to stay there if you want to truly manifest. All right? You create your destiny. What are you speaking over yourself? What are you speaking over your beliefs about the ideal partner, about men, about women, whoever it is that you want to date? What are you believing about them? What are you believing about what's available, who's out there? What are you believing about yourself, whether you have what it takes to have that particular type of person? It is quite fascinating when we really start to dig into ourselves and ask ourselves questions about ourselves. We'll start to uncover some really interesting things about ourselves. Wow, I didn't realize that I didn't think I was good enough for that type of person, or that type of person would want someone the likes of me. It's not that it's not available to you. It's not that you're destined to not have it. It's that you haven't aligned yourself with it based on the blocks that are stopping you. All right, what is my next thing? Beware of desperate energy. On my healing path, I've really gotten comfortable with the word desperate. I've also gotten comfortable with the word needy. And let me explain. Because a lot of times, words in the English vocabulary are going to be demonized. They're going to be to make us feel like there's something wrong with us, like the word controlling. Okay? We need to normalize controlling because we're all freaking controlling. The ego is controlling. We all have an ego. We're all controlling somehow, some way. Whether it's in a passive way or an aggressive way, we're all trying to control. Demonized word, oh, she's controlling, right? Desperate. Guess what? There's parts of us that want something in our life for what we feel like it's going to give us. All right? There's a desperate energy about it. I call it panting energy, like you're running towards something. I always call it panting energy. And I call myself out on my panting energy all the time. Okay? So there's this type of panting energy or this desperation that we feel like we need to get that thing and we cannot be happy until. We got to stop demonizing the word desperation because everybody's desperate in some respect. Because we think this certain thing outside of ourselves is going to give us that Mac Daddy fulfillment that we've been looking for. Because we're innocent children of God, doing the best we can, and that's how we believe that the system works. So we all got this. We all have this. But here's what the caveat is, is that that desperate energy is actually pushing away the thing that we want. Because it's energy that's moving. I always use this analogy. It's like a beach ball in a pool. If you're swimming hard towards that beach ball, pounding, 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 desperate energy, panting, what happens? Beach balls are very light. They just start kind of moving. They move away from you. Not only that, they're spinning, they're getting wet, and then you just barely touch the beach ball and it spins out away from you. You can't get to it. That's how our desires are if we have desperate energy towards that desire. We're panting and moving towards it like this. Done it a million times in my life, you guys. I get this. But when I finally sat back and I said, why do I want that thing so bad? Why? Because that thing is going to make me happy. That's what we think. We think the $1 million are going to make us happy. We think the new house, the new car, the boyfriend, the this, the that, the other thing is going to make us happy. Okay? Literally make us happy. Like that's the source forevermore. Okay? I'm aiming to be a multi-millionaire. That's what I want in my life. I want easy peasy freedom. Guess what? Is it going to make me happy? I'm going to make me happy. That's my job. So many times that we look out there that we want this thing that's going to make us happy, we could have that thing. How many multimillionaires are out there and are not happy? I know a lot. Okay? So we got to remove the attachment to this thing is going to be our source of happiness. The highest vibration energy we can be in is appreciation and gratitude for where we're at right now. Okay? I am giving you guys the keys. This video is the key. And I'm also going to offer you something at the end that will change your life forever. If I remember that, putting that into mental note. When we stop huffing and puffing and panting towards this thing that we want, when we relax, when we get happy now, what happens to the beach ball? It moves in the pool. I don't know about you all. I don't know where you were raised in Arizona, lots of pools here. I remember laying out on a raft, and then all of a sudden something's touching me, and I look and it's some ball or something that's floating in the pool. Eventually it's going to bump into you. It can't not. Because you have removed resistance to it coming. That's our job, is removing resistance. If something, is not coming to you in the time that you want it to come to you, all it means is you got resistance involved. That's all it means. But the hard part is getting out of desperation, is getting out of I have to have this thing to make me happy. I love to tell the story about when I was panting, huffing and puffing, trying to get a boyfriend at 21 years old. 21 years old. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If there was dating sites back then, I probably would have been on every single one. Okay? That's how much I wanted a boyfriend. I was desperate. I don't know why. I had always had a boyfriend, but there was one stage between 20 and 21 years old, that I did not have a significant other. And I remember really wanting it. And I was doing all these things, and it was like, I'm going to say rejection, but it wasn't like there was guys involved, rejection. Like I was getting rejected from men, because this is back in the day. You had to meet people first. It wasn't like you could get online and just start talking to people. So, but it was like every effort that I made, like let's say I made an effort to go to this particular place because I'm going to meet somebody, and then I wouldn't meet anybody that night. Whatever it was. And I remember just being so disappointed, so sad, so bummed out that it wasn't working. Finally, I just said, why do I want this? Why do I think I need a boyfriend? literally standing at the hostess stand of the 5-star resort I worked in, the Boulders Resort, Carefree, Arizona, standing there at the hostess stand in my horrible floor-length polyester black skirt. And I was standing there going, why do you want a boyfriend? You're happy. You're good. And it was at that moment something washed over me and I said, I don't need a boyfriend. 21 years old. It's not like I'm going to get married. Oh, but there's more to the story. You guys might just think, oh, that's nice. No, there's more to the story. So I decided I didn't need a boyfriend, but I didn't only just decide it, like it was, I vibrationally shifted in that moment. My energy shifted. And I'll tell this real quick because I've told it before in other talks. You guys may have heard it before. So one of the cooks, one of the chefs from, this 5-star resort I worked in said, hey, you want to go to this place? It was an old stagecoach stop here in very North Scottsdale, Arizona, called Greasewood Flats. And it's just like outdoor fire pits and things like that. And it's like a little cool old building that was probably like the office of the stagecoach. And they sold beers and cheeseburgers and things like that. He's like, you want to go to this place? I'm like, sure, never heard of it. Because I just turned 21 and I went to this place with that guy. That guy went and sat down. I was standing in line behind a guy. Now, I wasn't interested in Chef Man by any means. He was not my type. And I was pretty innocent at that point. I didn't realize he was interested in me, but he must have been. Anyway, so I just thought he's just being my friend. I was pretty naive back then. I'm standing behind this guy and he turns around to say something to someone behind him or behind us. So I got to look at his face because he was facing the other direction. I went, God, he looks familiar. He really looks familiar. Who is that guy? I recognize him. And I said to him, you look really familiar to me. Do you know me? Do I look familiar to you? And he said, no, you don't, not at all. And I was like, okay. You know what's really weird? I'm getting an intuition. I need to put my seatbelt on. I feel like I'm gonna move spaces. This is straight up intuition right now, happening in real time, you guys. It has been coming. It's come 3 times since I've been sitting here. I need to move my vehicle. I don't know why. Someone's not gonna see me sitting on the side of the road, and they're gonna run into the back of me. It was not gonna be life-threatening or anything like that, but that is the 3rd time that message popped into my head while I'm talking to you guys, so I'm out of there. Outies. All right, I'm gonna try here. I'm gonna do here for a little bit. Okay. See if I get a better vibe over here. Weird. That was weird. But I don't mess around with that stuff anymore. When it comes, it's just a slight little quiet. You're gonna get rented. It's just like, are you gonna be okay if someone bangs into the back of your car? That's kind of how it sounded. And I just kind of looked, and I'm like, well, that guy didn't do it. And then it came again, and I'm like, well, that guy didn't do it. I digress. I'm sure you guys find that interesting, though, because I would if someone was telling me that real time. All right. So then he said his name. Finally, I go, what high school did you go to? Sorry, I'm getting text. What high school did you go to? These type of things. And finally, he said the high school that he went to, and it was my high school, too. And I said, oh, okay. I'm like, now I recognize him. He's that cute guy he was a senior. He was older than me. I mean, he's that cute guy. My freshman year that I would come out of, a building, and I'd have to go down these stairs, and I would see him walking across the open area space. And I remember seeing him every day after 3rd hour. I'd see this guy. It's the only time I ever saw him. And I thought he was really super cute. I love following those intuitive hits. Yes. I should put my glasses on, or at least have them available for my notes. So I started following. So that was it. Anyway, what happened was, that was it. I was like, he's that senior that I thought was cute back in the day. Fast forward a weekend, the very next weekend, I ran into him at another place on a date with another girl, okay? And then skip a weekend. The 3rd weekend, I ran into him again, and then that was the weekend that he got my phone number, and the rest was history. He became my first husband. How? Because I let go. I 100% let go of finding a man, of having to have a boyfriend. And the resistance was gone, and that's when he came in. He came floating right in. So when I talk about resistance, I mean that in a way that I cannot stress that being as strong as it possibly is. If the thing is not coming yet, there is resistance somehow, and or there is something that you need to learn first before receiving that thing. Let me explain. This is a really important point. When we strive towards a certain dream, there's things about us that we need to have in place in order to receive the dream and sustain the dream. So let's say a person is saying, I want a really healthy relationship with a super healthy guy and, it to be long term and all of these things. Okay, just that ultimate relationship. But yet the person that's asking the question is really insecure and jealous, does not think highly of themselves, name some other disempowered things. That person could not receive or sustain a relationship with a man like that, a person like that. Switch your genders around, they don't matter. You see what I'm saying? They would sabotage that relationship. So God, universe says, oh, you want that? Okay, I need you to learn this lesson first, this lesson first, this lesson. First, I need you to know your worth. Then I need you to get centered in your security of self. Then I need you to look at this and this. Get what I'm saying? Because in order to sustain that relationship, these things are going to need to be in place. So sometimes we just need to be a vibrational match to it, and sometimes it's because there's something that we need to learn. When we are in the process of learning, this could take some time. Why? This is, again, so important. Because we have free will. When the lessons come, we may ignore the lessons by blaming the other person, staying in victim mentality, not taking responsibility for our life, which means that same lesson's going to come again, which could make us feel even more a victim and support this. So this is growing bigger and stronger. That we didn't learn the lesson then. The lesson comes again, which can support this again and grow this bigger. Or we can learn the lesson. This is why we say that universe is going to throw pebbles and eventually it's going to throw us a boulder. Knock us in the head. Because we'll get these warning signs, we'll get these heads up, we'll get these opportunities for growth. But yet we ignore it, we discount it, we blame the other person, we look outside of ourselves. And I'm not saying sometimes we're not perpetrated upon, okay? But we're looking out there. We're blaming everybody else and not taking responsibility. We have to be able to take responsibility to be able to heal those pieces inside of ourselves. If I'm with a narcissistic asshole, what about me attracted him? See what I'm saying? I could stay focused on his bad traits, or I can go, whew, what about me attracted him? See what I'm saying? This is why we get the pebbles before we get the tsunami like I had. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know I was supposed to be asking myself questions. I thought it was the luck of the draw. Oh well, another one bites the dust. Okay, another one bites. I just thought eventually I was going to pull a king. If I kept shuffling, I was going to pull a king, and it didn't happen. I had to create my energetic space to be able to attract that. And he wasn't perfect, by the way. So however long it takes us to get ourselves into vibrational alignment with our lifer has everything to do with us. It has to do with, are we doing the work? Are we going within? How fast are you healing? Where are you blaming? Where are you not taking responsibility? Okay? This is not victim shaming, by the way. It was 6 months or so ago, I was talking about taking responsibility for our lives. It might have been on a story. And some yahoo's like, you're victim shaming. Okay, I'd never even heard of victim shaming. What the hell was victim? I was like, what is that? I had to ask people. Taking responsibility for our life has nothing to do with the fact it's completely separate from a-hole over here that perpetrated on you. Not cool, never going to be okay, not all right. This person's got some karma to contend with. Sue him if you need to, divorce him if you need to, whatever you need to do, never going to be okay. And the spiritual journey is taking responsibility for your piece of the equation. Period. Nothing's going to change until we do. So this is why some things can take some time. Let me tell you about my journey through building this business, this online business, being a coach, speaker, mentor out into the world. It has been a journey because of where I was, the fears I had, the blocks I had. I've had to clean each one out one at a time. The fact that I'm on live on a YouTube that could be broadcast throughout the entire world. You told me this 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, no way. Right? But I had a vision. I had a dream. I had something that I'm like, I need to share this stuff with people. So I had to unpack all this resistance to it. By the way, this YouTube channel is fairly new. I started it years ago, not just kind of throwing a video up every once in a while, never thinking willy-nilly about it. I didn't really get serious about this YouTube channel until about 8 months ago. And it went from 800 to 2,500 something subscribers that fast. It was pretty fast. Because I was on fire. I'm like, I want to share this information with people. But see, it's now, my vibration is more in alignment with it and it's starting to roll. Okay? We can't just think we're going to be one and done. It doesn't work that way. So if this is taking a little bit of time for you, it's so important to go in and discover the blocks within so that you can heal them, whatever they might be. And I'm going to share more about that in a minute. So that you can become a vibrational alignment to this. That's the key. There's something blocking. When there's no other reason, there's something blocking. Okay? Unless you're living in Iceland by yourself in a research lab for 10 months out of the year, there's no one around. That might be a reason. Okay? All right, let me see what the last thing is. Oh, I already said that one. Okay. So, because, oh God, really? This is the weirdest thing, you guys. I have never felt like this sitting on the side of a road in a residential area. I do not like what is approaching me from behind. So I am going to move. What I want you guys to know, everyone to understand who's listening right now, is that I attracted, most of you know this, one disrespectful, lopsided relationship after the other. I could not find a healthy relationship to save my life. I could not find a man who is willing to work towards a healthy relationship. That's the best way of saying it. Okay? Some of these men weren't bad, so to speak, but they were not willing to get healthy. which is what we're all doing on this spiritual journey. That is what we're doing, is we are working towards getting healthy. And they were not even remotely interested in that. But it's not like they were all abusive and stuff like that. They had other addictions or heavy drinking or some other things that they had going on. But I'm just not saying that each one was an abuser. So it was some iteration of disrespect, abuse, something, things like that. I just couldn't find that person. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, as I went through the College of Kristen, something started shifting inside of me. And I lost all neediness and desperation. It was gone. So that vibrational frequency was out. That never came back. Never came back. And I did this organically by working on myself and healing things inside myself. And the byproduct of it was I wasn't needy and desperate anymore. And when I say needy and desperate, that doesn't, there's varying degrees of this because people can get a little, jacked up. Okay, this is a much better place. Can get a little bit jacked up about needy and desperate. Like, you could be this desperate. You could be someone who is on 5 dating apps. You're talking to 5 guys at once. You can't go a night without seeing somebody or, having some type of attention. There's people like that. I'm not saying you who's in here right now. I'm just saying whoever's listening later on the recording. And there's no judgment or shame around that. This is what people need to understand. I don't judge or shame anybody because it has everything to do with your programming. How can we shame somebody who has been organically programmed in their mind to think a certain way about themselves, which is contributing to this type of behavior? Okay? That's all it is. The behavior is a symptom of the inner world, of what's going on inside Mr. or Ms. Noggin. That's what the behavior that we are exhibiting is showing. So someone recently said something, about their life and they said, wow, I did not feel judgment at all from you. I'm like, I don't freaking judge. It's not even in my repertoire. How can we? Okay? We're all doing the best that we can. Anyway. So after this, I noticed that I was so peaceful and happy being single. I had no issue whatsoever. By the way, if you guys have any questions or comments, I am parked, so feel free to say anything you want here. I had no issue whatsoever. Like, I frankly could have ridden the wave the rest of my life being single. It would have been okay. But there was this piece inside of me that loves to love, that loves to cuddle, that loves to be in partnership, that loves, as I'm looking at a man and a woman riding bikes behind me right now, there's a part of me that loves that type of thing. So I was like, no, I want the experience of a relationship, a really healthy relationship. Like, I want that for my life. So I still had the desire. It was still out there. I was still doing all the manifesting techniques, visualizing and choosing what I wanted, in this partner. I was still doing those type of things, but I had no desperation. In walked man 1, okay? His name was Jeffrey. In walked Jeffrey. And I was with Jeffrey for about 5 weeks, and I was like, I was in such a great place. For the first time, I was not auditioning. Let me put my glasses on. I just got a note here. So many epiphanies are coming through right now on identifying. Sorry, it went away. Identifying limiting beliefs. Girlfriend, yes. Oh, Little Iodine's here too. Hi, I don't know who's in here now. Oh, hi everybody. Thanks for bearing with me on this very weird random live that I'm doing because I needed to go spend some alone time in my car. You can hear about that in the beginning when you watch the replay. Nothing bad. So I met Jeffrey and I'm dating this guy. For the first time in my life, I'm deciding if he's good enough for me. This guy was a doctor, by the way. He was an OBGYN. Handsome, for all practical purposes. But I would date him like, okay, I like that. Paying attention to his habits, the things he does, everything that's going on. It was the first time. And I started to question him about things that he was saying. Because I was like, not sure that aligns with me. So I started to question things, not crazy, just in conversation. So what do you think about this? Or, you mentioned that. What do you think about that? But I believe that he ended up breaking up with me. And I believe that my questions scared him. They were revealing places inside of himself that he was disowning and hiding from. Okay? So when he broke up with me, I remember thinking to myself, this is funny. Homie's he's given up the best thing. He has no idea what crossed his path, right? He has absolutely given up the best thing that he's ever met. But I was okay with it because I knew that by me loving me and asking questions revealed something that promoted him to break up with me. Does that make sense? Powerful Kristen. I don't mean powerful, not that type of power. Rooted, powered, centered, empowered, love myself, mofo Kristen was not willing to compromise who I am, play small, dumb down, dim my light, audition. And I think homie thought that, people should be bending over backwards. I remember there was a kiss test that I had to pass. I didn't have to pass, but he at one point said, oh yeah, I can tell a lot from the first kiss and, this and that. Oh, okay, Romeo. And after our first kiss, whatever, that was the end of it. He goes, you passed. Oh, thank you. Didn't he know that I'm the one that's paying attention? I don't give a bleep if I pass. I'm paying attention to you. And I'm saying this joking and sarcastic and kind of comedic right now. But it's the truth. That's how I was looking at this. I was like, you can act like you're trying to see if I pass, but I'm paying a close attention to you, bro. Anyway, he broke up with me. Now, I will say that after having just gone through the College of Kristen and he just kind of floated in like a butterfly in a breeze. I was on vacation in San Diego and he started messaging me on Facebook. Someone I went to high school with as well. But anyway, he kind of floated in. We ended up chatting, dated for 5 weeks. And he broke up with me and I remember feeling disappointed. And I want to say this. But it wasn't disappointed about him. It wasn't like, oh, the love of my life. I was disappointed because I thought in my noggin that the next guy that came in after the College of Kristen would have been the one. One and done. That's what I thought. Innocently. Because that's what we're doing. We're so innocent, you guys. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We just don't. Until we do. We're just floating around, just trying to get our needs met, controlling, manipulating, bending, morphing, shifting, chameleoning, doing all the things. And really, we don't know that we're doing it. We're unconscious. But as we start to get conscious and we start to heal, things take on a completely different cadence. However, I was still innocent to the fact that I thought that it was going to be one and done. And innocence can happen at 45 years old, because that's how old I was. Okay? When this happened, this little Jeffrey thing. About that, I don't remember exactly. It's somewhere in there. Just maybe 44. So, I remember being disappointed. And I sat there in the disappointment, and I was like, wow, I'm shocked. And I asked myself, is it him? Is it? And it wasn't. I was like, no, it's really not. Interesting enough, because he broke up with me, I unfriended him on Facebook, not in spite, malice, or anything else, just, okay. You don't get to spy on me in my life if you've, decided you want to break up with me. That was just a weird line for me, so I unfriended him. And then he messaged me and he was like, oh, you unfriended me. He basically admitted that he wanted to stay friends with me on Facebook so that he could observe me to see if he, had made the wrong decision. So my intuition was right. He was he just was staying on there to kind of stalk me, so to speak. Anyway, I ended up, I was like, no, that's just, no. If it's not a slam dunk, you want to be with me, then we are not meant, because I'm awesome, number one. And number two, there might be fears involved with you, because an open heart and open mind would meet me and say, it's her, that's who I want, the end. Not that every single guy that meets me, that's not what I mean, but I mean the right guy would go, that's her, she's awesome, I'm in. But fear would stop that. And if someone is that fearful to be in a relationship, I don't want them. That's a whole bag of problems that homie doesn't want to unpack. Get what I'm saying? But I was disappointed for a minute. And I allowed myself to be, because I had done all this work. And I felt amazing. And I loved being single. And love not as in a preference, but had no problem, zero problem being single. It was all good. And I was disappointed. And I allowed myself to be. So I want you to understand that on this path, it's okay to honor the emotions and the feelings that come up with as you are in the market of dating or attracting your lifer. It's okay. It's okay. But don't give up. Just because it's not them, that means you're just getting closer to. So what did I learn from Jeffrey was the question that I asked myself. What did I learn? I learned to notice things faster. Number one. I learned that I don't want someone that lived 90 minutes from me. And I think there was a couple of things I didn't even want to take the energy to try to remember. But there was a couple things that I said, okay. He was purposeful in this regard. And that's okay. And then a couple weeks later, guess who walked in? This boy. Because I let go again. I reset. I let go of attachment too, and I got back to being happy with Kristen. You are not destined to be alone. You are not destined to be single. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not fatally flawed. You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to change your hair from brown to blonde or blonde to brown. You don't need to get extensions, fingernails, liposuction, boob jobs. Nothing. Please hear me. Please hear me. If you hear anything on this broadcast, I want you to hear this right now. Time stamped at, what time is this? 58 minutes. Okay? Your ideal man, your ideal partner is looking for exactly you. Okay? Exactly you. And I'm pausing for dramatic effect and for it to sink in. This is something that I am sinking into my 17-year-old daughter's head right now. Because when she says the things about her body, because we're constantly in comparison, right? We're all doing this stupid shit. I promise you, I swear to you, your ideal man, your rock solid, respectful, amazing partner is going to fall in love with you exactly how you are. Small boobies, small booty, big booty, small belly, big belly, brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, long hair, short hair, you name it. There is this big problem in the world that everybody thinks there's a type. Now, a man may have his individual type as equally to we might have our individual type. I'm attracted to certain guys. I'm not attracted to certain guys. Period. There's nothing right or wrong about that. It's my chemical makeup. It's my DNA. It's what I'm attracted to. That's it. The same is true. Some guys are going to be attracted to you. Some guys are not. Or women, if men are listening to this. Okay? That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you and you need to grow 6 inches or have smaller feet or, you know, get penis injections or whatever people do. I don't know. None of that matters. None of it matters. I cannot stress that enough. I'm going to say this imagine me saying this on repeat 45 times. Because this might be something that you need to get in your head. Maybe you have a culture and your culture is like pounded into your head that, you know, the valuable men or women, what are you saying there? LOL. Maybe your culture is saying like the valuable men or women look like, act like, have this, right? Something like that. I cannot stress this enough. I want you, if you were sitting in front of me, I would not let you leave my presence until this was in your brain changed. Your ideal partner is going to be attracted to you. Now, disclaimer. Narcissists, users, abusers, jerks, assholes, cheaters, you know, the whack pack, the people I call the whack pack, they may not be like that. They may get with you and then go, you gonna lose a little weight? Or they might be disrespectful and staring at other men or women. Or yada, 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 yada. Unhealthy people, that's not what you're looking for. You're not looking for an unhealthy man or woman. Your ideal, that's what we're talking about here. Not settling, not jerk, not low vibe jerk that you're attracting based on your energy, okay? Your ideal person is going to love you just the way you are. And they're not going to be afraid to say it. And by all means, please believe them when they do. Please. Because we can jack them up, you know, and they're like, I love your belly. I love your leg. Honey, I love your legs. What's the matter with your legs? Or, I don't care if you grow your hair out. And we're like, oh, they're not telling me the truth. Well, first of all, did you get them into a place that they can't tell you the truth? Right? Because sometimes a lot of people give their partner so much hell that the partner's afraid to tell them the truth. But if you were have promoted truth and honesty in your relationship and they're telling you the fucking truth, believe them. Believe them. Start to believe it. I think my phone might be getting hot. I'm going to put up my little shade behind it. I don't want my phone to get hot. Oh, hey, the lighting's better. Let me see if I can finagle this somehow. I have a class that I've taken people through in groups, and I've taken people through singularly, and I will tell you something. It's called the Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. This class is quite frankly quite literally about resetting your energetic vibration to attract your real love relationship. And the women, probably I would say right now, I would say this with 100% certainty, and Kristen Brown is not a liar, 100% certainty that the people that went through this course and they dedicated themselves to the healing, they're either engaged or married now. And they all messaged me and said so and sent me videos and pictures and tagged me on things and, said thank you and all these type of things. If you are in the cyclical pattern and you just can't seem to break out of it, I highly recommend, encourage, push you, if you're willing to show up to the work, otherwise don't bother, and take the Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. I encourage you to take it with me as a 6-week self-study course. You and me, that's it. there is I'm sorry, not self-study course, you and me one-on-one coaching course. There is a self-study where you can take that for, I believe it's $97. Some people have done that. You can get all the information yourself and try to work through it yourself. But there is something about that one-on-one coaching that stuff really, really tends to sink in and solidify inside of you. This is the exact work I did to find my Doug. Okay? I'm in the best relationship I've ever been in my life. It didn't come without struggle, because it's a relationship. You're blending two people. There's stuff that comes up. But it's peaceful and it's joyful and it's happy and it's god diggity dog, it's respectful. I don't even remotely ever think that this man would cheat on me, where I picked up on that with a lot of other men in the past. Okay? And by the way, cheating's never about you. It's not, because you didn't make enough money, or because your penis wasn't big enough, or because your feet are too long, or you need a nose job, or your boobs are too small. People don't cheat for any of those reasons. We want to blame ourselves for their shitty morals and their lack of healing, unhealthiness. And we blame ourselves. Well, if I was just better at this. No. Brother, sister, please. It's not about you. It's about the other person. Always. Okay? So I highly recommend the Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. Like I said, the people that came to me, they were me. They were in the same type of repeating pattern over and over and over and over and over again. In fact, I'm really thinking about launching that again as a group course. If you guys would like me to do that, that's something you'd be interested in. It's much cheaper than taking it one-on-one with me. But if you are interested in that, launching it as a group course, let me know. We still go through the 6 weeks. So it's 6 modules. You get a module. They're about 35 minutes each. You get a worksheet. And if we're doing this one-on-one, we get together once a week for 1 hour. And we talk through each module in depth, answering any questions and all the things that come up. If we do it in a group, the same thing happens, except we get on a group call. Which, by the way, you guys, I am going to be starting it's called the Self-Healer Circle. And it is going to be based on the principles of my book, The Recovering People Pleaser. And it's going to be a support community where we get together and we talk about all the things that have to do with healing ourselves. I'm really excited about it. When my back, the beginning of this broadcast, if you weren't on, I hurt my back yesterday. And so really low key day. And all of a sudden a logo came out of me. And then the copy for it came out of me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing membership. This is how things roll. So Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass, I highly recommend that you go at least read about it, because if you are struggling, this is the shortest path through. It is the things that will help you check the boxes of your healing, because many times we don't know what's happening and we just keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again, hoping for a different result. We think it's the luck of the draw. If we just pull that right card, we're going to get the king. Sorry, no. It's a vibrational problem. It's an energetic problem, not a statistic problem. Okay? Hear me now. I can help you cut your learning curve if your ears are open. It's a vibrational energetic problem. Before College of Kristen, there was this vibration inside of me that I'm trying to name it now, but I wasn't naming it then. It felt very natural to me, but there was almost like this settling energy. Like, oh, that's good enough. No one's perfect. Oh, yeah, that sucks, but I can fix them. That was another energy I had is my love is so great, I can fix them. My love is great. My love is fucking awesome. I love big, but I can't fix anybody. But I didn't know that. So there was just this energy of, well, I just want to be loved. As long as I have this person with me, then I can feel love somehow or whatever. And I compromised my sacred self repeatedly. I lost myself in relationships. I abandoned myself. I didn't respect, protect, love, honor myself. And it was through choosing those things for me. I feel like there's people in here that are new to me. And I'm going to tell them this as a reminder, like I'm energetically getting that feeling, that if you're new to me, I had one lopsided and painful relationship after the next 4 decades, starting with relationship 1, cheated on, I was 15 to 17 with him, cheated on with my best friend. He cheated on me with my best friend, lost both those relationships. It was devastating. 17 to 19, I had a physically abusive one who cheated on me. The story goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay? And it wasn't until my tsunami that I vowed to remain single and celibate till I figured out why I kept attracting these dysfunctional and lopsided relationships. And I went through this time where I worked on myself. I didn't know what I was doing, but I came out the other side. And what happened was there was a worth and value to me that I had never felt before. For the first time, I knew my worth. I knew my value. I knew it. And it wasn't I know it. It was I know it. It was in my knowing. It was in my body. And the body follows the mind. So I was no longer tempted to do things that were disempowered because the body follows the mind. Our actions follow the way we believe. And I just started to notice me showing up in this more empowered way that naturally, this is the most important part, naturally weeded out people that weren't going to be good for me, i.e. Jeffrey. Naturally weeded it out because I was showing up in a different way. People that I would have lost myself with or what have you, lower vibrational energy actions with, were weeded out because my energy was different. My frequency had improved. Your energy can naturally weed out the users, abusers, jerks, narcissists, and cheaters. It can naturally do that. To where you can attract a person that is high vibration, that matches you, at least matches your level of vibration, and the two of you can work together to have a really healthy relationship. Relationships aren't perfect. I will never, ever promise that to anybody. But you can find somebody who is willing to work with you. None of my past people were ever willing. I was called names for trying to do things. It's called controlling and these things and a nag and a hag and a rag and a this and a that because I was trying to have a healthy relationship. Don't settle. Do not settle. And guess what? When you are willing to pass up good for great, meh for marvelous, you are sending a shockwave of energy to the universe that is probably the most powerful. Because I know people that have stayed in meh relationships just because they didn't want to be alone. When someone comes in and we're like, God, really great for all practical purposes, but I'm just not feeling it. And we're willing to let that person go. You know what universe goes? Holy shit, she is ready. That was the highest essence energy of self-love that we have felt from him or her. We got to match that. We got to match that now. And then your person's going to come in. It's like magic. It really is. So this broadcast was, you are not destined to be single forever. It's ludicrous, actually. It's ludicrous. There's no destiny that equals singledom forever. There's just not. That's not even a thing. That's not even a thing. Okay? You're not picked apart out of the crowd. God came in and goes, her or him, bloop, and pulled you over here and said, destined to be single forever. You just stay over here. No. We get to have anything we want. Okay? It is our Father's good pleasure to give us his kingdom. It is universe's good pleasure to fulfill our dreams. It's God's good pleasure to give us our manifestations. I said that in 3 different ways. Our job is to remove the blocks and the resistance to it coming in, number 1. But it's also to deem ourselves worthy of receiving it. That's the magic right there. When you work on those 2 things, when you work to heal those 2 things, that should be your only focus. Not what bar to go to, not what app to be on, not what dress to wear, not what sports car you drive. All of that is irrelevant. None of that matters. What matters is what you're focusing on, what you're envisioning, and that you believe you are worthy of that thing. That's what matters. You're going to have someone walk in, loving every single second of just the way you are because they've been looking for you too. Isn't that crazy? I got a little note here. Let me see. Right now, the thought of being with someone sets my gag reflex going. And that's, yeah. Have been alone for 6 years now. Oh, Kristen, can you do a video on getting revenge on all the, hold on a minute. Men who have wronged and disrespected us, LOL. The best revenge is finding your guy. The best revenge is living a good life. You guys have heard that before. That's the best revenge. We don't want to do any sort of revenge, because that's low vibe. She said LOL after it, so I know she's playing. But it's tempting, isn't it, Julia? It's tempting. But yeah, the universe is energy. We're in an energetic world. Your past a-holes are going to know the second that you are hooked up in love. They're going to feel it. They're going to feel when you've got some people, some guy, you're on some guy's arm that treats you like the queen that you are. And I mean equally to us, treating them as the king that they are. This is not lopsided. Okay? They feel it. However, this probably goes without being said, Julia, but I'm going to say it anyway for anybody else that's listening. Revenge only lowers our vibration. It only puts us in a place of low energy, low vibe. Think about it. Think about revenge. Think about the energy level you got to be in. Think about the movies you've watched where people are out there getting their revenge. That's some low vibe shit. But sending your perpetrators love, $8 years for you, and you're young, girl. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. Sending your perpetrator love is one of the highest vibrations you can do. Because guess what? They are a soul. This is higher teaching, so bear with me now. This could get people mad at me. But they are a soul, and you made a contract with them coming here to experience something with them. I remember, I see my tsunami ex that way now. I see him that way. I look at him and I'm like, yeah, well, thanks for the soul pack that we had, because I did learn a lot from it. Thank you for being the one that taught that to me. You know what I'm saying? Time spent alone doesn't matter. But what I'm okay, so I'm not sure. Lil Iodine, you saying 6 years alone. Does that mean there was dating in between? Julia, does that mean there was dating in between? Or does that just mean 6 years straight single, not a person in your life at all? Or 8 years, 8 and 6, you guys are. I'm gonna be real here. Oh, that's a great perspective. And no. I don't know what no means, Little Iodine. Give me a little bit more detail. No to which question? Here's the thing. If you've gone a super, super long time between no stayed his. Oh, stay hid. Yeah. So you were completely single. Yeah. And that's by choice. And that's by choice. And that's absolutely okay. Healing looks different for every single person. Not one date. Okay. That's what I thought. 100% single. Yeah. And that's by choice. And unless or until the desire arises for a person, then it may stay that way. We get to choose, you guys. We get to choose. But remember, whatever it is that we choose, if there's something back here that's niggling on us that we do want a relationship, don't think that universe is going to come in and bypass your energy and throw the perfect guy at you or girl. It can't happen. Okay? I was talking to someone the other day. I thought they were going to, not do too much in their life and that this wonderful thing was going to come in. I said, no, you have to make efforts towards this goal. So not saying Little Iodine, you choosing. You're staying hid, you want to be single, and that's fantastic. I'm also talking to the whole bunch of other people that are going to watch this video and letting people know that you're going to need to effort towards if you do want to be in a relationship with somebody. If that is your end goal at some point, there's going to need to be effort to be moved forward. Because the energy that had you isolate, if that energy has not shifted, then that is going to be the same energy that you take out into the world, and that is not the vibration that's going to attract you the most amazing person. It's the same energy you're taking back out there that puts you into isolation. So there's work that needs to be done. But if you're cool being single and want to be single forever, great. My dad did. I said, Dad, why don't you want to date? Yeah, I don't want that headache, Chris. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that he was happy single, but he was. And I got it after I got happy single. I'm like, I get what he's saying. So anyway, Julia, if you're still in here, you said 8 years. Does that mean there was dating in between? Or are you calling single just meaning not married? Or meaning there was no dates or what have you? Sometimes there's a hidden fear wrapped up in our singledom. And that hidden fear, we may not be conscious of yet. It's back here. I call it back here. This is my unconscious or my subconscious, my visual. Here's my conscious. But when we have a fear that's wrapped up in it, that fear is going to be rippling out a vibration that we are not even aware of. Now, we can visualize and do the things, and we may be able to crack through some of it even though we don't know it's there. But I know for me, with things that I've wanted to manifest in my life, when I was doing all the things and the thing was still not coming, I went and looked inside and said, do I have a fear wrapped up in this? Every time there was. There was some type of fear, hidden fear. I remember even this business that I'm doing, I felt like I've kind of staved this business off. I'm a coach. I actively coach people and make my things, but there was a part of me that kind of stayed, just sort of kept this business from blowing up. Because there was a lot of things that were happening in my personal life that required my attention. And my youngest daughter, who was healing through some things that had happened through her own life, she was my priority. So I had this fear if my business blew up, even, big as I want it to be, that I'm not going to be able to spend time with her. The time that she needed and required to help her heal. Which, by the way, she's kicking some serious major ass right now. We've done well. But that hidden fear inside of me kept my business at bay. And then I would wonder, geez, why didn't this happen or that happen or the other thing? And I was like, because, Kristen, energetically, you're holding it back. This is for real. We're powerful. We are so powerful. And I want you to know that, that you have free will and that you can heal from anything. All it takes is to choose to no longer be a victim, to choose victory. We've all been victimized. Yes, we have. But in this moment, you're not being victimized. So choose better for yourself. Choose better for yourself. Heal from that past. It sucked. It was terrible. You didn't deserve it. It was awful. Sometimes people need to be punished for their behavior or have consequences for their behavior. All the things. But stop giving those people your power. I'm a little feisty, as you guys can tell. Maybe not. Can you tell I'm feisty? I'm not feisty like a aggressor in life. That's not what I mean by feisty. But I got a lot of fire and spunk in me. And I got a lot of fuck that. Okay? I don't know why. And I remember thinking, thinking how victimized I was by the men in my life, by the partners in my life. And I had been. Like, there was no question. And then I thought to myself, and this was not from a book I read, I thought, I'm nobody's victim. I literally thought that. I am no one's victim. Fuck that. And I say it like that when with that conviction, because it was that fierceness that came out of me like, homie is not getting one more second of my energy. So continuing to think about him, continuing to point the finger, continuing to tell the story, continuing to get people to rally around me to say, oh, you're right, poor you, that was crappy, that was terrible, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Do you know how much energy I was sending his way? No. He didn't deserve one more piece of my energy. Any of them. I reeled that stuff back in. And I about faced and went the other direction. Sayonara. Not going to hang out in your energy anymore. I am not your victim. Watch me. Watch me. And so this is what I mean by we don't want revenge. We want to live a great life. We're going to show them what they missed out on. Even if they never visually see it, because maybe they're not in our life anymore, they know. They energetically know. I'm going to read my little messages. Do a little glass exchange here. Okay. Yeah. Last serious relationship was 8 years ago. The breakup destroyed me back then had some bad casual encounters, one of which made me feel really manipulated. Been celibate for 4 years now. Good girl. Been tough, but also healing. You absolutely are. Absolutely are, Julia. For me, my love equals pain will not even get a pet. I understand that. And if that's, if you want to stay that way, that's perfectly your choice. But if you don't, there's a way out of that. How to shift into feeling worthy and believe I'll find someone better than my ex. I just feel like my energy and self-esteem have been messed up from these experiences. Good for you. That's awesome, Kristen. Okay, how to shift into feeling worthy and find someone better than my ex. Oh, and believe I'll find someone better than my ex. Okay. Self-love to soulmate. That's all I can tell you. Self-love to soulmate and the recovering people pleaser. You guys need to understand that this is my wheelhouse. This is where I was. I was you. I experienced the exact same things, and I wrote the book and made the course on it. And I'm starting a self-healing circle. Okay? You guys got to let me know if you want to be part of that community, because it's going to be bomb ass, dank ass. That is something that my bomb ass, dank ass. That's what my to-be son-in-law says all the time. So anyway, but we are going to come together as a community, and we're going to talk about these things on the daily. Let me tell you something. That repetition rewires your brain, and you are going to start to think different. Community groups are amazing. One-on-one coaching is amazing. They all have their place. Self-love to soulmate is amazing. You got to decide. The only thing is that you've got to decide that you want to do the work, that you're serious about the work, that you're ready to do the work. What is that? That's weird. Something weird popped up. Is my phone getting too hot? That was weird, you guys. This is such a bad angle. How do you guys like my angle right now? Okay, something popped up on my screen, but I can't see what that is. But maybe my phone's getting hot, because that's a thing. That's why I put the blind up. Anyway, if it cuts out on you, I love you, and it just cut out. My course and my book is my healing work, and it is what you need to heal if you apply the practices. Here's the most gorgeous thing about this, and I cannot stress this enough, and I cannot explain it in the right human terms. But when you apply these principles, look at me, I'm like talking like I'm Italian. When you apply these principles to yourself, you are going to heal in a way that you didn't even think was possible. You didn't even know that it was out there, because you reset your energetic foundation of worthiness. It is my book, and it is my course, and it is my one-on-one coaching. Okay? This is why I do what I do. You can hear the passion in my voice. This is not about, oh, I need to rake in the dough. I want to work with people who want to work with me. Okay? This is about, I believe in you. I know who you are. I know what you're capable of. I know you were hurt. I know you were hurt. You're talking to a girl who has a PhD in pain. I have been tossed around like I was, I don't even know what to say, a hot potato, just through life. When was I going to be able to settle into the arms of a man who had my back? But I wasn't going to quit. Okay? I wasn't going to quit. Because our peace comes first, our healing comes first, and this person is the cherry on top of our self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, happy life. Okay? We think they're supposed to come in and make us happy. It doesn't work that way. We find our own value first. We find our happiness first. We get stable and secure first. Then we match that person. When we are unstable, insecure, low value, needing something in the outside world to make us happy, the vibration is down here. So we attract exactly that. But what do we attract is what we are. I don't value myself. I don't think I'm worthy. I have these fears. Da, 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 da. We're going to attract somebody to us that reflects that. We can heal. I thought you said we can't hear. See, this is why I'm like, oh, is my microphone not working? We can't heal. You guys. It is our birthright. It is our birthright. It is part of what we are made up of. It is why we are here. To heal and to experience everything. Why do you think souls want to go to earth? Okay? Because there's cool shit to experience. Why do we want to stay here? Because there's cool shit to experience. When we heal ourselves, when we feel our worthiness cup, we are going to attract relationships to us that reflect that. And if someone comes in that doesn't reflect that, it's going to be obvious from go. Like Jeffrey. My story about Jeffrey, you'll have to go back and listen to that. Okay? First guy I dated after my college of Kristen. He wasn't going to, he didn't see my worth. He wasn't reflecting my worth. There was an energetic disconnect. And he was the one that broke up with me, but it doesn't matter. It just, thank you, God. Rejection is our protection. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. 5 weeks is all I spent. 5 weeks, not 5 years. Worth it. Worth every minute of that 5 weeks to learn what I learned. This is how we got to look at things. What am I learning? What was I supposed to be learning? What do I know now that I didn't know then? Where am I still weak? Where am I still scared? Where am I still afraid? Where do I feel small? Where do I feel like I will fold or compromise when this happens? XYZ. Go within. I really want to invite you all to check out my Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. It is on my website, kristenbrown.org/work with me. All one word, work with me. The first little bit on that page are my coaching options, but after that is the full-blown Self-Love to Soulmate explanation. Okay? The results that people have gotten from this are mind-blowing. The people that have truly dedicated themselves to the work. In fact, it was 100% of the people who dedicated themselves to the work are now with the love of their life, like mind-blowing, like where did this come from type love of their life. The people that were half in and half out and just kind of dabbling, they didn't. They're not dedicated. Not my job. It's their job. I'm given the information. How much are you going to drink up? How much are you going to lap up? How much are you going to absorb? What are you going to do? It's very simple. That's the other thing, you guys. This is what's mind-blowing. I'm so glad this came in. The healing path is not hard. It's very simple. It takes dedication. It takes consistency. That's what some people might consider hard or challenging. But the actual work itself, this is one of the greatest paradoxes. We didn't come here to do this work, to heal and grow, but it was like super hard work. People call it hard work. I don't ever call it hard work. And you know what? Other people that are in my caliber of teacher, they'll say the same thing. Marianne Williamson says that. She said the work isn't hard, it's different. That's what I told people from go until I heard her say it too. I was like, yes. I told people the work's not hard, it's just different. That's what I kept explaining. It's just different. It's just breaking out of that mental mind patterned, programmed autopilot that we have been in for so long and switching it up for something else, period. Which is a change in energetic vibration, which attracts different experiences to us. But not only that, it now has reset the foundation of our self-worth and our self-value. So if ookie poopy comes in, we know how to deal with that like this. Rather than putting up with it, staying in there, trying to speak, trying not to speak, dimming down, hiding our voice, putting up with stuff, compromising our sacred self. None of that happens anymore. Okay, I'm going to check my messages one last time. So if anybody else has something to say, please go ahead and add that. Here's that. I'm seriously, okay. Oh yeah, find someone better. I need to talk about that real quick too. I am seriously doing work on me. I loved way too, you didn't love too much, honey. You did not love way too much. You are a lover, a giver, an earth angel. Have you read the first sentence of my book? Okay. Yeah, you cannot love way too much. You can compromise way too much. You cannot love yourself enough so that you are not showing up in a position of I love me and I matter. Okay? I am one of the biggest lovers on the planet. My brother's the same way. We're so, actually, my other brother too. But we can love at the expense of our own well-being, and that's people pleasing. Okay? We can love at the expense of enabling another person. Okay? That's people pleasing. Loving too much is not the problem. Being a people pleaser, not valuing yourself enough, not having the strength to set and maintain healthy boundaries. These type of things are the problem. But when you reset that foundation, you still remain the biggest, juiciest lover. And you know your worth. Let me tell you something. What is it? The full package. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say triple threat. That makes you a triple threat, but that's not the right word. You become the full package. All right. Okay. I can't. You know, you guys, with this whole thing where it, oh my God, no, I'm not reporting anything. Where is it? Okay. You are right. I did not love me enough. Thank you. You betcha, sister. What is the first sentence of my book, if you guys have read it? I see you, soul sibling. You're kind, generous, giving. You love deeply, something or other, right? That's the first sentence of my book. You're teaching me. You are awesome. That is the first sentence of my book because this is who we are. We're the lovers, the givers, the earth angels. We just love naturally. We love love. We love giving love. We love being around people. We just love. We love to love. And if we don't love ourselves, then we attract any and every person that is going to exploit that love. The takers. Oh, here's someone out passing out free love, free ice cream. Think of it that way. A healthy person would go over, someone's passing out free ice cream, they'd take one. A narcissist, user, abuser, toxic person will say, well, I'll take them all. Okay? Think about a candy on a sidewalk. Not on a sidewalk, by your front door for Halloween. You just leave the bowl out there. How many people are going to come and take one, or maybe two? Who's going to come and take handfuls? Okay? There's some people that are like us, other lovers, givers, earth angels, even though they're self-worth, and they'll just take a little bit, right? But there are those other people that see us as an opportunity, and they swoop in and they just start emptying out the closet. They are emptying out the pantry. They're going to take everything they can possibly take. And we just sit there giving it lovingly, and then we don't understand why we're being exploited. What happened? I'm such a good person. I'm loving people, and you are, and I am too. Excuse me, you guys. And then this is what happens. Okay? Because self-love is missing. Hence, the name of my course, Self-Love to Soulmate. We have got to put that self-love in place because it naturally and organically shifts our energetic vibration that calls to us different experiences, but also that we now value ourselves and are not susceptible to being used or being overtaken from or being exploited or being controlled. It's interesting to see people in my life that were used to, my husband was used to women being a certain way, my current husband. And here's me not taking any ish whatsoever. And he just kept saying, you're so different. He couldn't control me. But let me tell you what did happen. He was like, who is she? I gotta have her. And all the things that light up inside of a man lit up. And he is the most dedicated, loving, loyal, amazing man. We do not have to chase a man or a woman. I'm saying this a lot because there's women in here right now, but I know we got men that pop on here too. We do not have to chase anybody. Ever. It's not a thing. That's repelling energy. Oh, Julia had asked me, sorry, Julia, she said about, I believe I can find someone better than my ex. I promise you, my sister. I promise you. There is somebody as equal to or better than your former person of 8 years ago. And I don't care if that relationship was like you were the cause of that demise. By saying that you're afraid that you're not going to find somebody as good makes me think, and I could be completely wrong, please correct me if you're even still in here, that you might have done something that ended that relationship. And therefore you might be carrying around some guilt or shame or something that you are undeserving of better because of whatever. I'm here to tell you, no matter what you did, that does not mean that God all of a sudden goes, well, that one did that, so they're not allowed to have a good relationship. You're punishing yourself. God doesn't punish. We punish ourselves. And again, I'm not saying this is your story. I'm actually going off of a coaching client right now who passed, really, really hurt an amazing man. And the shame and guilt that she felt from that had her staying in a very, very, unhealthy relationship because she felt so much shame and guilt from the other thing. That, she was staying in this low vibe, hovering, what do you call it when the airplanes circle? Holding pattern. She was in this low vibe holding pattern because she had this unconscious guilt and shame from this other relationship of behavior and things that she did that was not cool. And I'm like, okay, you got to heal that. That's a learning lesson. That's a learning lesson. It was there for a reason. It was purposeful. Let it serve you the way it's supposed to serve you and let it go. Let it go. God, we can hurt ourselves. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he's a male friend of mine, and actually, we are going to be having Friday. I am going live with two of I call them Wisdom Brothers, Joseph Mojo McCarthy, and D. Grant Smith. Two amazing men that, oh my gosh, just huge, amazing guys. I don't know what our topic is yet, but it's something to do with spirituality. We are going live, I believe, and I'll find out for sure, but I think it's 2:00 Pacific time, Friday. We're going to have a 3-way, we're going to get on live on our YouTube channels via StreamYard. It's going to be a 3-way conversation. I'm telling you something. Every time we get together, it's uplifting, it's inspiring, it's motivational, and it's real life, real people conversation. That's going to be Friday. I'm glad I remembered that. I'm going to try to remember to write it in the community tab. I'm not sure of the topic yet, but anything we talk about is like fire, So, can you find somebody as good as your ex? Absolutely. Is the at least equal or better than? But you got to do the work. You got to let yourself off the hook for whatever you think that you did or didn't do or whatever. This is the healing work. Get out of your own way. You're just stuck, but you're not stuck forever. It's a holding pattern. That's all it is. Planes don't stay in the air forever on holding. Okay, eventually the tower says, okay, come in on runway 4. Boop. Okay? This is the same thing. You've been in a holding pattern. You've been in buffer. You know how the computer does buffering like this? You've been in the buffer pattern for some time now. You don't need to stay there. You can do the work. But you can't fart around with the work. Can't be one toe in. I call them toe dippers. When I first started coaching, I was like, man, there's some people that they just kind of come in and they sort of kind of mess around with the work and then they go back to the way they were for a long time and they come back in. And I was like, they kind of like dip their toe in the pool and pull it back out. You know, you can't dip your toe in the pool and expect for a full body healing. You got to immerse yourself in that pool. You got to dedicate yourself to the healing process. It's all right there. And it's easy. Remember what I said? It's simple. The concepts, what you're learning is not hard. It just takes dedication and consistency and saying, what have I got to lose? This time is going to pass anyway. Why won't I pass this time doing something instructive? I remember a story about somebody who was going to go to college, something like that. They wanted to go to college and what was holding them back was that it was going to take so long. Well, it's going to take so long. 4 years is going to pass anyway. Why not be in college during those 4 years? Because 4 years is going to pass whether you're in college or not in college, in school or not in school. So why not have that 4 years pass with you doing the work? The only thing that is stopping you, and I think I'm going to leave this broadcast at this because it's been a while, y'all. Oh, 111. That's cool. That's when I looked at it. The only thing that's stopping you is guess who? Your ego. Your little gremlin ego. It's over here just telling you a bunch of crap that's not true, lying in your ears, lying to your face, and you're believing it because it's the first voice in your head, so you hear it saying that and you go, okay, right? You can't do it. It's going to take too long. It's too hard. You're not destined for yada, 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 whatever it might be, okay? All of it's untrue. Remember that God is the one and only say in this, any of the 3D, 4D, 5D, eternal D worlds. There is only one truth. That's God, source, universe, I am, quantum field, infinite intelligence. There's only one truth. And when this over here is yakking a bunch of lies and BS in your ear, you're believing a lie. Catch that. That's part of the healing journey too. Catch those things. It's never going to happen for you. Or you got somebody in your surrounding going, you're getting old, you know. You're kind of getting past the child-rearing years. You know, I had my 17-year-old at 38. 38. And people were like, oh, you're getting into high risk. I said, F that. I'm not in high risk. I'm going to have a healthy, perfect, exact pregnancy of my other two. They were 10 and 12 years prior. I didn't even conform to the high risk. I'm like, there's no high risk. Universe, healthy, perfect, exact same pregnancies, experiences, whatever. It's exactly what I experienced. Okay? So you got someone yapping in your ear telling you all men or women suck, men just want to be used, or just want to use you. All men want is sex. That is really untrue, by the way. Extremely untrue. That's all they want. Yeah, there's a lot of this stuff that's going on around the world. All these limiting beliefs that are being tossed your way, they are wrong. Okay? You get to design your experience. Just because, let's say 2 men, all they wanted was sex. Does that mean 7.9 billion? Well, that's men and women, but whatever, let's say half of that. 4 billion men minus 2, no. I don't even know if that made sense to you guys. The entire world is not the same. I have someone in my life, a loved one, who straight up says, is a guy, he says, he's as sexual as anybody else. There's nothing weird, asexual about him, but he goes, nope, I want to And there's no religion involved with this, by the way. He says, I'm not an F boy. I just don't want to have sex with any old somebody because it kind of grosses me out. He's like, and I feel like there's something wrong with me. And I'm like, nope. You're just really conscious about what feels good to you. See what I'm saying? There is no law governing every single tiny thing in a relationship. You get to design. But I will tell you something. If your ego's over here telling you, yapping in your ear, telling you some type of thing that is keeping you small and stuck, some limiting beliefs, you got to rise above this guy. In fact, I look at my ego, I see it as a little gremlin, a little cute gremlin, actually a mogwai. I think they're called remember the movie Gremlins? I think they were called mogwais before they turned into gremlins. They were gremlins when they got wet. But anyway, so a little mogwai, just a little cute little hairy thing. And I look at it and I say, thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. But this is a lie, and this lie is hurting me. It's keeping me stuck. So I'm not going to believe this lie. Here's the truth, but thank you. And then I watch it fade away. And if it comes in again, I say the same thing. I see you. I know you're trying to protect me, but what you're telling me is a lie. Here's the truth. I'm going to believe this. You can go now. And if it comes back again, see how fast? That's how fast those ego thoughts are. I'll say it again. Now, most likely, they don't come back that fast in one setting. It's the next day or the next 3 hours later or these type of things. That's when these things start to come back. All right? But I want you to know the bottom line here is that you are not destined to be single forever unless you have decided that is your destiny. Because God did not decide that for you. We have free will here. Okay? I do highly encourage you to jump over to my website, look up kristenbrown.org/workwithme, or just go to my website and hit work with me. Scroll down, you'll find the Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. You will also find the Self-Study tab, which means you can take the class by yourself for $97. And then if you want, you can just hook up with me for one coaching session. If you want to be economical, get your questions answered there. Depends where you're at on your journey. That might be enough for you. All right? Check out these options. Read, study my book, The Recovering People Pleaser. That is all about resetting your shame and unworthiness, resetting that foundation to be a rock star master manifester. Okay? I'm going to read my messages one more time, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's see what we got here. Yes, relate. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. I read that. I guess I need to hear out of you. I love to love. It feels so damn good. It does. Yes, relatable. So God would want an even better relationship for me, even though I was young and dumb. Yes, and played a role in messy. Yes. It's been 8 years. Oh God, hold on. I so love that you're getting this right now. Young and dumb, and played a role in messing things up. It's been a long 8 years of pain, but also lots of growth. Julia, hear me now. Please hear me now. Girlfriend, that's the past. You learned. It's over. Okay? God, universe, source, energy is on your side and loves you. There's no judgment. There's never any judgment. God doesn't come here to a place that knows that we're going to be fallible and says, you're going to be fallible? You can't possibly be perfect. So you're going to be fallible, and then I'm going to judge the hell out of you. It doesn't work that way. The universe goes, okay, judgment, forgiveness, understanding, grace is built into the essence of universal love. It's built into the essence, okay? So you come here, that's already built in. We are already forgiven. Forgiveness is even actually a thing from God because it's already built into unconditional love. Okay, it's already built in. It's us that needs to forgive ourselves. It's us that needs to accept our behavior. It's us that needs to give ourselves grace. That's what self-love is. Self-love to soulmate. I'm telling you, if I have not given you the argument for why you guys need this course, because it is our love of self that heals us, that resets our foundation. The most beautiful little birdie. Oh, you're so cute. Oh my God. Oh, oh, he just pooped. But he's got orange on his head. He's little. And he's got orange on his neck and a little tuft of orange feathers on his back. Other than that, he's gray. But he's very cute. Anyway, I digress. But what I want you to understand is that, daggone it, your ideal person is there. We've all made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've done things we're not proud of. But we got to release the energy of that mistake in our field. It's not serving us. Okay? The person I said that had gone through something where they had given up, cheated on, a really, really, really great human being. I was coaching her through this and she was sobbing and she was just like, I blew it. I'm like, you didn't blow it. That you blew it with him. That's over with. However, you didn't blow your chances because the universe is abundant. There's not only just one awesome guy. There's lots of awesome guys and gals out there. And she is now in the process of working on healing through that because she didn't know this. As we don't, like I talked about, our innocence. She didn't know that. She's been dabbling in, been in this other relationship, this settling relationship. She had been in that for 4 years. I don't even know how long. I'm guessing quite a bit of time and just not happy because she thought she needed to because she had made this mistake in the past. Like, well, I'm not going to get anything better because my karma. Doesn't work that way. All right, one last message and then I'm going to dip. Okay, let me get my glasses again. When it said it feels so damn good, I was not implying sex. No, you're implying loving people. I knew what you were implying. I knew exactly what you were implying. You love to love. Oh, for gosh sakes. Yeah. Just to bring morning coffee or getting a stain out of a shirt, making them laugh feels so good. Yes. And then, Julia, I lost a really good man. He wasn't perfect either, though. If nothing else, being single has offered lots of time for self-discovery. We will see what the future holds. Thank you, Kristen. You betcha. You betcha. And it looked like there was another message. There was like an arrow, but as I'm scrolling, there's not another message. So, all right, you guys, this was a big, long conversation. It was, looks like 122 minutes, however long that is. Let me see, 16, oh, it's 2 hours. I guess I did 2 hours on this. So I just want to thank you guys who have dipped in and out of this room, who have stayed, who have not stayed. There's a lot of information in here. So much information, but mostly if you're just dipping in now or you're going to watch on the replay, it's kind of, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be saying at the end, but this is, you need that hope, if you need that encouragement, if you need that inspiration to keep going, this is the video for you. This was requested from somebody, and there was no way that I could just put this in a little, they call them long form, even though they're short. The long form video as opposed to the short. It's like, it's a lot I want to talk about. I didn't expect to do it today. I was just going to go for a drive, but it felt really good to be here with you guys. I absolutely love and adore you. And yes, so I would love for you to consider if you would love to be in the Self-Healing Circle. It'll be a weekly healing group, membership group, where we will get together and discuss things and work through things. And there's just so much support and community. So I know it's going to be an amazing group once I get that up and running. So I want to send each and every one of you so much love. Thank you for being here. Excuse my morning bedhead. Like I said, wasn't looking to jump on live, but here I am. So hope you guys got a lot from this. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up after this is uploaded. Go back and thumbs up it because that helps the algorithms and, helps other people to see this too, so that they can work through these things as well. And that's the whole purpose of me being here, is wanting to help other people. So I believe in you. I love you. And I will see you next time. Peace.